Hello, in this video I will show how the shaders that I have implemented for the PBS assignment work using the skeleton application that was given in the lab. First of all, I have the fong shading, where the light will move when I rotate the camera. The object has a bluish color and we can clearly see the specular spot, the part where we have diffuse lighting, and the backside which is not directly illuminated but we still have some ambiental light. Next up, the texture mapping is the same shading as before, but we take the albedo color for the material from the, in this case, the color texture, or we can use the roughness or the metalness textures. The next shader is the reflection one, where we only have the sphere and compute the reflections from the view direction through the normal and sample the environment map, and this basically maps the entire environment onto the sphere. The next shader is the simple PBS. Here you can see I have a very metallic surface with a low roughness, so you can see a very bright specular spot which is tinted with the color of the material. So for example, if I turn to a dielectric material, you can see that now the diffuse part has the red color and the specular spot basically has the color given by the Fresnel color. So here I can change the Fresnel color and the specular spot will also change its color, but we can keep it at 0.05 to have it as a value for dielectrics basically. And by increasing the roughness, you can see that the specular spot gets bigger and it disappears, and same for metals. The last shader is the IBL PBS, where I have the texture of rusty steel as presented in the previous texture mapping shader. In some regions the material is very metallic with a gray color, and in others it is rusted, it is considered to be non-metallic and it has this orangish color, and as you can see we get reflections only in the metallic surface and the rusted surface is only slightly illuminated. Of course we can adjust here the Fresnel response, but it will not give correct results because it should have these low values. If we start changing it, we'll have this kind of response, but this is not an accurate representation of how the material behaves. Another thing I wanted to show is the simple PBS shader, but now using the textures to get the material color, the metalness and the roughness. This is also only done by commenting 3 lines of the code and uncommenting other 3 lines. There are some comments indicating where to do that. And now you can see that by having the static light, you can see how the lighting changes as the surface properties change, because sometimes the metal is a little bit more rough or more shiny, and in some parts the material is more metallic or less metallic. So in the shiny part the metalness is high, and in the rusty part the metalness is very low. And as discussed above, we should keep the values at a low value 0.05. This is for dielectrics for the rusty part, but if we change these values, we will change also how the behavior of the non-metallic part is. So the rusty part can then start behaving differently depending on how we have set up this Fresnel response.